And hello and welcome back to another episode of Maas&Staple podcast.
G'day, mate.
You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and we might get some few more social medias coming up soon. But at the moment, we're sticking to Facebook and YouTube, so you can follow us on YouTube at maas&staple.com. What was the rest of it again?
Maas&Staple.com.
Yeah, YouTube.com.
What?
On YouTube, what's the YouTube URL?
Oh, the actual URL.
Yeah,
for the channel.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
No, it's just Maas&Staple. Maas&Staple podcast. Just search that up. It'll pop up.
Yeah, it'll pop up on Google and also on YouTube and Facebook. Anyway, today's episode we'll be talking about the moon landing in 1969. So the space history, we're going to actually start off with the space history of what it's actually happened. So from the start to be of when space was actually originate, because before they actually believed in the flat Earth. The universe actually everybody in the olden days, like when the Middle Ages and all that was happening. And,
back in the ancient and the
ancient times. Yeah, they believed that everything rotated around the Earth. If that is true or not, I don't know, but it's definitely not flat. The Earth is not flat.
It's definitely round. It's like a sphere.
It's a globe. Anyway, space history. Telescopes were made. I don't know when they were. I think about 1800s. I think they started being made. They might have been made a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think about in the 15 and 1600s.
Yeah,
they were experimenting as well with them.
Yeah, in the ancient days, they believed that each star that was newly created that they saw was a god of theirs dying. I don't know if it was a god or some sort of heroic figure like Hercules. They thought it was a star that was created from him dying, but it was just another star evolving around the universe and all that. Anyway, yes, that's that history done. Then you've got the space revolution where people started flying out, and the first people were going up to the outer space.
Wasn't it Russia?
Yeah, Russia was the first person.
Yeah,
I've got that written down there somewhere. Yeah.
What year was it? I forgot.
I forgot as well. I even forgot who actually went up there. Anyway, I've got it all written down here anyway somewhere. The space history. Yeah, in 1947, here we go. The animals went into space. The first animals. The Germans in June. Shit, I can't even read my own handwriting. That's fucked.
He's trying to adjust to the writing.
Yeah, no, my handwriting's shocking. If you want to have a look at it, we could probably put it on Facebook. Oh yeah, here we go. Yuri Gagarin, or something like that, was the first man out of space by the Russians, the Soviet Union at the time they were called. Yeah, there's been a whole heap of them. Sputnik was the first to orbit the Earth. Sputnik number 5, I think it was.
That's right. That's the satellite, right?
Yeah, satellite. Yeah, that's still up there today. It is traveling around the Earth. The first woman in space was in June 63, 16th of June 1963. The first woman. It's a Russian name, so I don't really know how to say her name. I'm not going to pronounce it. The first spacewalk was by a Russian, the 18th of March in 1965. So there's been a lot happening. So this is where we actually go into about the space race. Who wanted to be the first person or the first nation to land on the moon? So since that's happened, I think the Indians have landed on the moon. The Chinese have landed on the moon. Definitely the USA, Russia has landed on the moon, and I think Europe might have landed on the moon as well. I can't fully remember. This has been a long time since I've done research about this type of stuff, and I've been learning about space evolution and what's happened. But the space race was a big thing back in the 1960s, 1950s. Who was going to be the first person to land on the moon? Some people believe that people it was a fake landing, due to the flag or something.
The American one.
Yeah, the American one. Yeah, American
Yeah.
one. Or it was, and some people believe it was true, even though it was broadcasted live across the world. So Stephen, he is on the other side of where it's all fake.
I believe it's fake, but I've got a few things to back it up with, but I'll let you.
Yeah, and I have
talk
the opinion of it was real. So I think we should let Stephen do some talking at the moment, so I can catch my breath a little bit. So
All right, sure.
you tell everybody why you think it was fake, and yeah, you know what I mean.
All right, I believe it was fake because, like that type of camera technology, isn't it? Like the camera technology, it looks too, okay, basically, okay. Why is the flag like the wind? Why is it like the wind when they put it on?
Why it was like that?
Yeah, why was it like the wind? That doesn't happen in space. Sorry. And another thing, once Neil Armstrong and all that, like 3 or 4 years after they landed, there was this journalist guy. He kept asking them, was it real? Was it not? And they'd say, no comment, no comment. So, sorry, I'm going to do an American accent. What exactly can you tell me about that?
Okay, so the flag, due to the velocity of physics, I don't know how it all works, the physics of it.
Yeah.
It did move because that's the way. If they put enough force into it, it will move in outer space. Just like
I don't know
how to move out on Earth, but on Earth it would create more of a velocity of how to move. They put it in, but in space there's still a little bit of gravity on the moon because of due to the orbit of the Earth surrounding. It's like on Mars, there's I think it's about 30% gravity on Mars, even though there's not much gravity. Like it's due to the sun rotation that creates the gravity.
There's still some from.
There's still some gravity that will cause like the physics of a flag to move something that was so light.
Okay. Also, people, you know the footsteps that Neil Armstrong did. People have found his footsteps aren't on the moon anymore. What can you say about that? They just disappeared over the years.
No comment. No, I'm not sure about that. It's the first time I heard about this.
Okay.
But I believe that they're still up there. I'm not sure if people have actually gone there and actually had a look or not.
I think it was like satellite imagery or something.
Oh yes, so you can't really.
I think that's faithful. I think I can trust that.
I don't really believe it. Well, satellite imagery, you can kind of believe it to a certain extent. Some of what they do is with satellites, they take a photo of red, a picture of red, blue, and green. They put them together, and that's how they get the color footage of it. Going back to your high quality camera shots, they actually created a HD camera, a full HD.
Well, it's not HD.
Yeah, it was. It was a HD camera that was the first at that time to be made.
Didn't look HD.
No, but it didn't look HD, but due to the TVs and the sources coming back.
So the frequencies.
Yeah, the frequencies are coming back. Yeah, it didn't look HD. I know that. They had to transmit it into an analog signal, so that's why it didn't look clear. But if you actually go to what NASA actually took and brought back with them, it's in HD.
Why was the lighting so bright in space? Have you seen the photos? Like the recolored photos of when they went there?
No.
Well, the lighting looks very it looks very bright, like you know the way the light's on me now. That's what it looked like in space. It looked like they had lights on the astronauts, so it didn't look very dark.
Well, the sun is very bright.
You reckon it was just the sun?
The sun is very bright.
I reckon
they're wearing a white uniform. They're wearing a white outfit.
I reckon if you went on the moon, you'll be way darker than that. So
the moon's always looking at the sun.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be like a little darker?
No,
it wouldn't be.
No, because they haven't got an atmosphere around them.
That's my.
You're on the fucking moon, not a planet.
That's my arguments. And
yeah, you haven't got an ozone layer around.
I believe the rocket. You know the broadcasting of seeing the rocket go up. I believe that shit. But I believe after that they had a timed live broadcast with the space crew. To show everything, and I think I heard rumors of Ron Howard actually directing the space scene, so Like, I know this sounds like, oh, he's wearing a tinfoil hat, he's a fucking idiot, but I don't know. Some things don't add up, such as asking them about the moon landing and them going, oh, no comment, no comment, no comment, sir. Especially Neil Armstrong. Get the camera out of my face.
That was Buzz Aldrin.
Whatever. It was one of the astronauts, okay? It was one of the astronauts.
Okay, so this church person or like a left-wing person, I'm not sure, one of those two anyway, he went up to Buzz Aldrin and said...
he researched into the conspiracy.
Oh, he researched.
Yeah, he researched.
He researched. Anyway, he accused Buzz Aldrin of not landing on the moon. Okay, he didn't actually land on the moon. It was Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong right? landed on the moon. So
yeah.
This is where I'm believing it. Like, it's Buzz Aldrin who landed on the moon. It wasn't. No, sorry, Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. It wasn't Buzz Aldrin at all. Anyway, so that's where he didn't get his facts right there, because Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. And
okay, the point is he was trying to just have a conversation.
No, he wasn't. He was trying to start a fight with Buzz Aldrin. So, like, accusing him of not landing on the moon, right?
Well, why? Okay, ask me this: why did the Americans not go to the moon again?
Why? Well, they did. Yeah. They did 17 missions to the moon, and they stopped.
Yeah, but why haven't they gone back?
They could have found something on there that they're not telling us.
I reckon it's all a hoax just to win the race, because the Americans were desperate to win the race against, was it Russia?
Yeah, Russia. Yeah. The Soviet Union. Yeah.
Yeah, the Soviet Union. They wanted to rush. So I don't know. I believe that they wanted to get the publicity. They wanted to get the news out there, and they wanted everyone to get shocked. So that's my my belief. I guess it's a bit simple-minded thinking like that, but that's that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, going back to this Buzz Aldrin. Anyway, this guy started accusing him of not landing on the moon. Well, he didn't land anyway. Anyway, so Buzz Aldrin punched him in the face, and that's what actually happened.
Yeah, what a dick. Why would you do that?
No, accuse someone who landed on the moon. And
yeah, I would go up to Neil Armstrong and say, did you land on the moon or not?
Yeah.
I would ask.
Well, he's dead now, so you can't really ask him, can you?
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. Like, if I could talk to one of them.
Yeah, I believe that they have done it. They have created 11, 12, 13 didn't go on, 14, 15, 16. Wait,
yeah, they did lots of testing, but I think they found out it was too risky. That's what I reckon. 17
missions that up into outer space. The first one they didn't actually go anywhere. They went out of space, tested out the equipment. One of them actually did fail. One of the missions did fail.
Yeah, is that when like the rocket blew up?
Yeah, rocket blew up.
Yeah, and I remember that one.
Yeah, so the Apollo mission, they did have the choice to go, okay, we're not going to land on the moon, or we're going to land on the moon. But Neil Armstrong stuck to his guts and went, okay, we're landing on the moon today. And he did, and back in 1964, I forgot what date it was.
1965, are you sure it was 4?
I'm sorry, the 20th of July,
65?
1969.
No.
1969.
Oh, 69,
so, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so the 20th of July 1969, the first man landed on the moon in the Apollo 11 out of the lunar missions. And I think we should stop recording for the time being.
Are you sure?
We'll get back to this, yeah.
All right.
I think I have a bad feeling about the camera running out of...
out of battery again.
Yeah, battery.
All right, guys,
yeah,
that's our tame debate.
Yeah. We'll come back to it anyway.
Didn't want to get full on about it, but that's my belief. And, yep. All right.
We'll be back.
We'll see you soon.
All right, there we go. I just had a bad feeling about the camera running out.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's a bit dodgy.
Yeah, so going back to what we were going back before, about landing on the moon, I believe in it. Stephen doesn't. He reckons it was fake. You reckon it was done in a TV studio, you reckon?
Yeah, I believe it was done under perfect conditions.
Yeah, I believe it was actually done on the moon, recorded on the moon. So Stephen, I've got a question for you actually. How come they brought so many rock samples back from the moon?
Rock samples?
Yeah, rock samples from the lunar rock samples.
Well,
how does that make any...
The rock samples, they just used it as a as a prop from movies, and they took it for the. I can't really argue against that one. That's hard to argue against. I mean, well, they took it from the set of Alien. I don't know. How am I meant to? How am I meant to argue against that one?
Because there's universities all around the world.
Well, that's a hard one. Well, okay, they're fake rock samples. They made them up from a machine.
You reckon?
That's what I reckon.
Because there's universities all around the world proving that.
Because I think
from the moon.
I think NASA they've got the money, they've got the resources, they could easily fake it.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I reckon.
Yeah, I believe that they've actually collected up those rock samples. Those men, I've got a list of their names here, who have actually nearly killed themselves or have killed themselves to go up on the moon.
Just to get a rock sample.
Yeah, to get rock samples for our future. Like I've got a whole list of them here. We've got the Apollo 8. We've got Frank Borman, Jim Levine, Bill Anders. Apollo 9 must have been the one that they was actually killed. Well, the people were blown up.
Is that the one, the failed test one?
Yes, I think it was. Sorry, these are actually the men who flew to the moon, but didn't actually land on the moon. Sorry.
That sounds very fishy.
Tom Stafford, he was Apollo 10. We've got Michael Collins in the Apollo 12. Dick Gordon, Apollo 12. Oh, here we go. We've got Jim back again. Jim Laville. Jack Stigert and Fred Hayes, who have gone, and that was the Apollo. Oh wait, it's Apollo 13. So Apollo 14, we've got Stu Rosner. Apollo 15, we've got Al Warden. Apollo 16, we've got Ken Mattingly, and in Apollo 17, the last one that was actually done was Ron Evans, who flew to the moon but did not land on the moon. Then we've got, if I go back, people who actually landed on the moon. Here we go, walked on the moon.
Walked on the studio.
So the Apollo 13, going back to that, that didn't actually land on the moon. They ran out of oxygen levels, so they had to use the lunar to get back to Earth. They had to go make a full rotation around the moon to get back to the world eventually, back to Earth. So they didn't actually make it on the moon. So the people who have actually walked on the moon: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin was the Apollo 13. Apollo 12 was Pete Conrad, Alan Bean. The Apollo 14 was Alan Shepard and Igor Mitchell. Apollo 15 was David Scott and James Irwin. And then if I turn the thing over, which of course doesn't show, the Apollo 16 was John Young and Charles Duke. Apollo 16, and you got Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt, Apollo 17. So they're all the people who have actually landed on the moon and collected rock samples.
And walked in the studio.
Well, he reckons they walked in the studio or from an alien shoot, and I believe that they've actually landed on the moon to collect rock samples for us to use these days to learn more about what actually happened to the moon, what's connected to the Earth. One stage when an asteroid came and then split up the Earth and the moon, or was it some sort of other thing?
I think it was just a theory.
Yeah, some sort of theory.
I think it was a theory. I don't think they actually know
how the moon started rotating around Earth. So I'm not sure on the size between the Earth and moon and all that.
I think the moon is a lot smaller.
Yeah, I know it's a lot smaller, but yeah. So I've got some more information here, which that's useless to me. Oh yeah, that's useless to me as well. Oh yeah, no, that's part of. So I reckon they actually have landed on the moon. Events.
Okay, how about all the press conferences? After they landed on the moon, they had a press conference, and they weren't answering any questions related to how they landed and all that.
they might have been told not to say
Or
anything.
you think it's confidential?
Confidential.
And they're not allowed to? I think it's more like they're trying to cover up when they filmed it.
Yeah, well, that's where the conspiracy theorists come in.
Because to me, it seems plausible because back then, like, we didn't have the tech we have today. Like today, if they did it again, I think I would believe it. Like, I guess that makes me an idiot, but I would believe more nowadays than before, because I think nowadays it would be more plausible to do it. And I think back then our tech just wasn't good enough to do it. Because like a few years later, Russia did it, right?
Land on the moon? They haven't landed on the moon with a human yet.
Well, who was next?
To land on the moon?
Yeah.
Well, no one's landed on the moon. They've landed rovers on. They've landed other things on.
So what you're telling me is the first one has been the last one?
Yes. Well,
there you go.
There's
Studio. There you go.
Apollo 11, Apollo 12.
Yeah, but
Apollo
they just
14,
say that they just say that they're
15,
going to space.
16, 17.
I don't know.
No, they actually went to the moon.
Did they though?
Well, how would you know?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't either.
I reckon they have.
You're just going off research.
I'm going off by what my dad saw and my mum and dad saw back in 1969.
On the TVs.
On the TV, yeah.
On the really
they
bad quality TVs.
This is back when the government actually weren't corrupt.
I don't know.
They
were pretty corrupt back then too.
Yeah, but that's the police system though. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I probably would have trusted the government a lot more back then than now. Because now you've got the
because you think it's more about control now than it ever used to be.
Yeah. Like before, they used to allow fucking parties on the beaches and all that.
And now they don't really.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, we're gonna go to jail now because you had a party on the beach.
Yeah, on the beach.
Yeah. Like, there's no more fun anymore. It's like, oh, you gotta do this, you know.
It's all controlled.
Yeah, all controlled. But,
I guess.
So I'd actually, here we go. I've got numbers here. 650 million people watched it.
It was the biggest broadcast in the country ever. I heard during the conspiracy thing. But after the rocket went to space, all they did was they just cut to a studio. They had how many hours? How many days did they have before they went there?
It took them 4 days to reach the moon.
So they had a shit ton of time to set up the lights, to set up the cameras. I shouldn't be laughing and making me look like a dumbass. They set up the cameras, they set up the lights. Did they have switches back then, like vision? They didn't, did they? Like how?
I don't know, you're telling the conspiracy theory. You're telling if it's fake or not.
Yeah. Anyway, they had 3 or 4. My point is, they had 3 or 4 days to set up the lights, the cameras, the massive fan for the flag, and for him to walk really weird as well. Why does he walk really weird? Because there's no gravity.
No gravity, yeah.
I guess, okay, I think the no gravity, I think that's a tiny bit plausible, but I think the other things are...
Do you reckon it was a hoist lifting him up, do you?
There's a hoist.
Yeah.
And there's like a
crane or something lifting him up.
No, there's probably like a string or some shit.
A bungee cord.
Yeah. So some shit like that.
So I'm actually helping him with his own theory. Anyway, so...
That's only because I looked up this theory like a month or 2 ago. I've got it.
He looked it up.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Don't ever believe anything that's on YouTube.
I believe a lot of shit on YouTube.
Especially Mr. Beast.
Hey guys, make sure you get this sponsorship. Okay, he is kind of annoying now. Not gonna lie.
He gives away money. I don't know how he gets so much money.
He has 25 million subs.
Yeah, but how could you get so much money and then give it away in one video?
Sponsorships?
You can't. Oh, I suppose so.
They probably sponsor him.
Yeah. So they landed on the moon for a whole 21 hours and 36 minutes.
Damn, that's a lot of time to set up the studio.
No, this is when they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
Before they even went outside to go on the moon.
Right.
So they checked 9 times to see if they did the right thing, putting the suits on, making sure everything was all good to go out on the moon. So it took them 21 hours.
Putting on the prop suits.
And 36 minutes to go out and put on the spacesuits. It was blurry on multiple because it was a relay stations that were arriving onto the TV. So this is where we're getting a bit more information now. Yeah, it took over 400,000 engineers, scientists who worked on the Apollo missions from number 1 to all the way up to number 17. This is when they landed back. They landed off 900 miles off Hawaii. That's how I know. This is the research I've done, and I haven't done much research about it. I wish I did more now. But this is what I've done on it because I haven't actually had much time looking up stuff. So that's why I believe how America got up to the moon and came back. I actually trust this, and I believe
and why you believe the evidence.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Steven's on the opposite approach where he doesn't believe it. He reckons it's done in a TV studio.
I'm a bit more skeptical. Ever since I've done this media thing, I'm more skeptical when I watch TV now. So it could be that too.
Oh yeah, it does change. It does change a little bit.
It does change the way you look at some TV.
You can actually tell if what's that TV show called again?
Married.
Yeah, Married at First Sight. Yeah,
Married.
That's all fake.
That's fake as fuck, guys.
That's
hell fake.
The producers actually going to get.
The producers are judges.
Yeah, the producers are the people who tell them who can marry and all that.
Yeah, that's a bit sus.
So 3 people that sit on the couch and give love advice and all that shit. They're the producers of the show. And what makes it skeptical of that show is they can't talk 2 years after they've been on that show.
Yeah, so that means they're hiding something.
Yeah, so if it's been heavily edited by the producers to make someone look bad even though they're a good person, it can affect them in their
social life.
Yeah, social life and all that, and it gives them a very, very bad name.
And they have to sign contracts before they hop on the show.
Yeah, as well. It's heavy contracts and all, on the show. But most people do it just to go on TV, so I can understand where Channel 9's coming with that. It's not really editor's fault, not really.
It's a money making machine. That's what I do in it.
Yeah, it's about creating gossip and all that. It's just a reality TV. That's all it is, really. Just trying to get the best bits out of what you can out of something that you've edited.
Yeah,
to get a good show. So I can understand why it's so good of a show, but also it does affect people. There are current affairs shows who have actually interviewed people that have done this show, and it's created a lot of depression for them. And actually, I think over in another country, someone was on Big Brother. They actually killed themselves after being on Big Brother.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because of all the hate.
The hate from the got. So that's about that one so far. Well, but the moon.
We got 5 minutes left, by the way.
Have we? Oh, yep. Yeah, that's right. People who went to the moon, telescopes, space stations. Oh, yeah. So we're getting towards more the future now. They actually have sent out probes where they don't land on the planet. They circle a planet, take photos of the planet, and that gets sent back to...
Isn't that those little rover things? They reckon?
No, it's a probe. Probes are different.
It's an actual probe thing that can take photos.
Yeah. There's the rovers and there's probes and then there's satellites.
Oh, I haven't heard about the probe ones.
I'm not sure. It could be no. They've been around for years. Oh. Yeah, it could be another name for them, but I know they do go they don't actually land on the planet. They go around the planet, or they might go past Jupiter, Saturn and all that, and keep on going to whatever they can get to. There is one that's going out. It's been sent out in the 1960s or 70s, I can't remember. And it has many different languages, has different noise frequencies and all that to say hello, we're from Earth, to send out wherever out in the universe it's going to go. So there are probes that go around the planet, take photos of the planet, zoom in photos, and they take them in 3 different colors. So they take them red, green, and blue. I think that's right.
RGB.
Yeah, RGB.
It is RBG.
Yeah, RGB. Yeah, RGB. Yeah, so if you don't know what that is, so R is red,
G is green, and B is
blue.
So
they combine those photos together, and that's how they get the photo of a planet from the probe. So then you've got the rovers who actually land on the
And they scan for minerals and
yeah,
shit,
they scan for minerals. They might even take minerals. There has been Mars rovers that go on and collected up rock samples and brought them back to not Perth.
Yeah, brought them back to Perth.
No, they brought them back to Earth. Earth and Perth sound the same, don't they? Really?
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting
same
confused.
type of thing off the tongue.
Yeah, so that's why they're bringing back to. So they bring him back to Earth to get rock samples and see if we can land on there and see what the different gravities are and all that. So if we can land on there or not, as such, which it turns out we can do, land on Mars. There is a rover. There was a rover when I was in Sydney a few years ago. They actually been to Mars and came back and they put it in an exhibition at Sydney Powerhouse Museum. They had the rover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they have do they have like 4K Ultra HD cameras now in them?
They would do now, but
yeah,
they've probably got 12K cameras in them.
You reckon?
Yeah, probably most likely. Yeah. The Indians have tried to get a rover up into the moon. That unfortunately didn't make it. They lost 5 seconds before landing on the moon. It crashed.
Really?
Yeah. So that failed. The Chinese have managed to do it. The Europeans have managed to do it. Russian have managed to do it. And obviously the Americans have done it.
Where's the Aussies?
Aussies? I don't know.
We're just not going to bother.
I think the Australians are trying to start their own space
agency as well.
Program, yeah.
Oh.
But that's future down the track. I don't know if that's going to be as big as SpaceX and Mars One. NASA, obviously, and the Soviet Union space program, and
it's about to run out, by the way,
and the European space. So we'll be back in a minute.
We'll be back in a minute. That's our arguments. Don't forget to like, sub, and press that
notification bell.
All right, catch you later, boys. Bye.
Yeah, we were talking about space. About the rovers. We have gone to get a drinks break. So we were talking about the. About rovers, probes, and all that, going out of space, collecting rock samples, bringing back, and taking photos and all that. Carry on. Going back to that. Satellites, they are creating internet for us. They are creating a lot of telecommunications for us, and they're doing a lot for satellites, so we can get closer to the outer countries as possible. That's what they're used for. So. Our next bit of about the moon landing is more about this outer space where we're going to head to in the future. So the solar system, about it, future space travel and landing on Mars and other planets, which will come into the solar system bit. So, Stephen, how long do you reckon it'll take for us to get to Mars?
Right from here.
Yeah, like from now on, like how many more years do you reckon we'll get? Until we have enough technology or physics.
Oh, to get there fast.
Not there fast, no, just to get there. Like the first humans will start.
Why aren't they already doing that?
No, humans on Mars.
I thought they were. The next 5-10 years.
You reckon?
Yeah.
They'll bring it, yeah.
Next 5-10 years, I reckon, guys.
I reckon they ran about as well. There is the Mars One project, who in 2027, I think it is. We're bringing.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah,
around about there.
Planning it on, but not sure if it's true or not. NASA are reckoning it's going to take around about next 25 years, I think it was. SpaceX, I'm not 100% sure on what they're doing, their current plans but I think it's around about 2030 they'll be taking people on to Mars.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people signed up already as well, right?
Yeah, they've gone down to the top. How many? Like under 50 or something? I think at 25 they're up to now. Testing out the physical abilities, testing how they're going to do together, working as a team. And I think they're going to choose the top 6. I think it is like.
They'll kill each other once they get on there.
Oh no, I highly doubt that.
Oh, that'd be funny.
But stuck in a rocket ship for 4 years, that's going to be a bit tough one.
Yeah, they're going to have to be friends.
Yeah, they're going to have to be very close together. I'm not sure what their plans are to getting out of space because
I'm pretty sure they're stuck there. They're leaving them there.
They're leaving there, not bringing back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one for sure. And they know that. I'm not sure if they're actually bringing him. I know they're not bringing him back, but there's going to be a second crew that's going to follow by the first crew 2 years within the differences. So you'll probably need a doctor up in Mars. First, you'll need a
A doctor.
A geologist slash like a...
Yeah, but they need equipment. Like,
slash someone... They'll need an engineer up there as well.
right.
They'll need like someone who has army experience. Well, they all need army
Survival experience.
Yeah, survival. Yeah, someone that knows their shit. And someone knows their plant. Well, the geologist and the plant, they'll probably be added together, so they'll be able to make plants, collect up samples, get. They're scientists pretty much virtually. They'll need an engineer up there so they can get, if something's broken, they can fix it. Yes, so they'll need 6 crew, like the Pacific crew members that will go up there forever, virtually. They won't last there long up there because due to the gravity, it does affect the human anatomy of how our body does work, so they won't last as long as that we do on Earth here.
Like, you reckon they'll die at 60?
Oh,
like,
you can't put an age. Well, they can't put a number on the age of when they're going to die. But they've been up in space for a long time. So they've actually done a test in the space station. They put someone up there for 100 days or something like that.
yeah.
I think it was. Might have even been longer than that. It might have been a year. I'm not 100% sure of the numbers. But, yeah, they came back to Earth and they had a muscle deficiency and bone.
Bone structure issues?
Yeah, bone structure issues,
shit.
yeah. And they actually grew an extra 3 centimetres or something. I think it was, 3 centimetres or something up there.
Wow.
Because due to the gravity. So we actually grow while we're sleeping rather than we're growing when we're standing.
In space?
In Earth.
In Earth.
Yeah, so when we're sleeping, we're laying horizontal to the gravity. It's making our body grow more.
Right.
We're standing up. It's not shrinking us as such, but yeah.
Okay.
It does it makes us just stay the same. But if we're up in space, due to the lack of gravity, we are growing more due to the
atmosphere? No, wouldn't be that, would it? No.
There's no atmosphere in space.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
you know what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Due to the lack of gravity, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the. So at the moment they're doing experiments in the space station to see how long people can last for in a rocket ship. They will need the technology to get. They want to try and get people to Mars faster rather than getting them slower. So I was actually talking to 2 people the other day, where you're going to use physics to make people go faster to Mars.
Physics?
Yeah, but...
Like, what do you mean?
So this is rotating... I'm not sure even what it is.
Right.
But it rotates around the Earth.
Yeah.
It works like a slingshot. So when it turns that way, so Mars is over here, and then Earth's back over here somewhere. So when this thing turns, a rocket lands onto this thing that's turning at quite a fast rate, and brings the physics to Mars a lot faster.
Right, so it's like a slingshot, basically.
But when they're coming back, even to the moon, whatever, if they're coming back, it'll actually, the physics of it landing back into this thing that's rotating, it'll actually slow down the physics of them coming to land back into Earth.
So in other words, they won't de-age as much?
No, not de-age. No, nothing to do with de-age. Just like they'll get to Mars faster.
Oh, right.
And then when they're coming back, it brings them slower into Earth.
So it's going to take longer to get back if they...
it'll take longer for them to get back, but it'll take shorter distance time.
To get there?
Yeah, to get there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it all works. It's like a slingshot.
Right.
But it works...
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So gravity can actually... Well, not gravity. This slingshot physics thing will bring people to Mars faster, but when they're coming back to Earth, it will grab onto the ship that they're in, rocket ship, and bring them back into Earth slower than it usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Getting back into Earth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But the first few people will be up in Mars will not be coming back at all. I reckon it'll be like another 100 years before they start bringing people back from Earth to Mars.